Do not allow your mind to create anything into a hurdle of sadhana. Nothing is a hurdle to sadhana, nothing. You're sitting in the middle of Delhi or a big city or Hyderabad, even if you're running a food stall there in the middle of the city, 1,000 people passing by every given moment of time, even there you can do your sadhana. It's not about external situations. As I said, wherever you will go, you will find some external situations which are challenging. Very related to what we just talked about. Great blessing that Shiva mantra is moving you to tears. What else we want in life? The tears of remembrance, the tears of joy, of the one whose amsha we are, whose essence we are in this embodiment. To remember that and to have tears of that remembering, what can be more beautiful? Perfect time for you to start sadhana, Abhishek. Perfect time. Because the system is ripe, the system is yearning to make it more real. Perfect time to start the sadhana. Can you start any sadhana with family life responsibility? Of course, yes. Of course, yes. Just imagine if you have no family, no work pressure, no deadlines, no job, no nothing, but you've got all the money, etc. that you want. Consider you've got everything but nobody around you, no responsibility around you. And now you're walking the path of sadhana. What will you do? Will you keep sitting in meditation for 12 hours, 18 hours a day? No, it doesn't happen that way. You become a monk, what happens then? Half the time you clean the floor, half the time you go fetch water, half the time you tend to the cows, you do some pruning to the plants, you do some gardening, you make food, you cook food for yourself, you cook food for everybody else. All of those processes become part of sadhana or become sadhana. But the way you think sadhana of quietly sitting down, doing certain process, meditating, how long will you do that then? Again, half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours maximum. Maybe on some days 5, 4, 6 hours. But then you need to sustain your body. You need to move around, you need to do some work around. You follow what I'm saying? You're in an ashram, let's say. You've taken monastic vows, now you're in a monastery, in an ashram. That's like a bigger family now. More conflicts. More work. Earlier you had to cook food for 3 people, 4 people in your house. Now you have to cook food for 100 people. The bigger the environment, the bigger the family, the bigger the chores. Okay, you say, I'll just go and sit in the cave. Now, I don't want to be in a monastery or an ashram. Beautiful. Now go sit in a cave. But there'll be a lot of mosquitoes there. And of course the rodents. And then it'll be hot. And then you'll say, 2 hours of meditation, I'm getting a little bored. Then you'll start to play with some butterflies around. Then a monkey will come and you'll start to play with the monkey. You'll create your samsara there also. Have you heard this story? There was, I think your name is Abhishek, if I remember in the question. So there was this Abhishek once from Hyderabad who said, I want to do sadhana full time. So he went up to a mountain. There was a cave in the mountain. So he sat in a cave, started meditating. But as I just explained, there were rodents, there were mosquitoes. He was okay with the mosquitoes, but with the rodents, mouse, chuha, he was not okay with them. So he went down the mountain, goes to a village. He shares the problem with the villagers. They said, simple problem, sir, you are an enlightened being. Why are you struggling with rodents? Go get a cat. He said, that's a good idea. So he went ahead, got a cat to take care of the rodents. Brilliant idea. So rodents were all gone. The cat ate all the rodents. Now there are no rodents. Now he would sit in the meditation. The cat would come and sit on his lap, will lick around, will make noises, will create sounds, will do something. Because cat is hungry, because now there are no rodents. Now it's a pet cat. The cat has served him so much. He's got to take care of the cat. He's meditating, so compassion is growing. So he goes to the village again. He says, look, I have to feed the cat. He said, cat loves milk. So why don't you get a goat? He said, that's a good idea. So he gets a goat, gets the milk of the goat for the cat. Perfect. But few days, goat grazed all the grass all around. There's nothing to eat for the goat now. Now the goat is making noises. Now she needs to be fed. So he goes to the village again and says, what do I do? So villager says, sir, simple solution, no problem. Around your cave there is so much of land. Why don't you grow some things there? Some food you will take, some food the goat will take. He said, that's a good idea. So he started cultivating. Now there's food for him, there's food for the goat. He's not dependent on the villagers anymore. Brilliant. But next season there was no crop. And this guy is, Abhishek from Hyderabad. He's got no experience of farming. He goes to the village again and says, sir, what do I do? They said, sir, you've not put any manure. How would you get the crop? She said, where do I get the manure? He said, simple. You get a cow. She'll give you milk for your consumption. You'll be healthy and she'll give you, manure for the field. He said, that's a good idea. He gets a cow now. But cows, goats, they need care. Somebody need to take care of them. So he went to the village again and he got a lady to help with the cow, with the goat, milking the cow 4 in the morning. He is meditating. So this girl was very beautiful. She would come 3, 4, 5 hours every day, help him out. He fell in love with the girl. Now they got married. Samsara, Abhishek. So be aware. Do not run away from samsara. Wherever you'll go, you'll find rodents and the mosquitoes. You'll get the cat and the goat and the cow and the girl and the marriage, cultivation land and samsara. We create our own samsara. Right? So, do not make anything, let me rephrase. Do not allow your mind to create anything into a hurdle of sadhana. Nothing is a hurdle to sadhana, nothing. You're sitting in the middle of Delhi or a big city or Hyderabad, even if you're running a, food stall there in the middle of the city, 1,000 people passing by every given moment of time, even there you can do your sadhana. It's not about external situations. As I said, wherever you will go, you will find some external situations which are challenging. In the cave, there are situations which are challenging. I've been in the caves, believe me. In the ashram, there are challenging situations. Believe me, we have an ashram, I know. In the household, there are challenging situations. You do business, there are situations outside will pose some challenges to what you want to do / to what you want to achieve. That's the play of life. When you do bodybuilding, there is something called resistance training. Yes? You train your body and your mind to face the resistance, because that is how you strengthen your muscle. We call it the muscle of resilience. So any situation you are right now, all of you, work, family, whatever situation you are in, sadhana can be initiated in the middle of every situation. Joyful or crisis, does not matter. I'll give you a real life example of it. It happened a few months ago. There's a friend, Saadho, whose father was terminally ill. So he was on his deathbed, last days of life. And this sadhak just found about us, started listening to some of the satsang, etc. And this sadhak made sure that the father who's just leaving now, matter of a few days, listens to the satsangs. So that man, the man who was just on his way out of this planet, started listening to satsangs at that moment. And then there was still some energy left in him. You know what he asked this sadhak? That in one of the satsang, Gurudev said that he's written a book called Let the Mud Settle. I want to read the book. And then this sadhak sent me the photo of this man, old man, lying in the hospital. That time he was sleeping and the book was open on his chest. I just didn't save the photo somewhere. But that, when I saw that, this has happened I think last year sometime. That was the most prized thing that I saw in years. In the middle of any situation, till the time breath is on, you must initiate sadhana. That's my message to you. Hope it helps. Thank you.